Yep, you're down at the bottom of my screen. Watch, here I come.
I'm actually with you already.
You're already showing up.
I don't see me.
Here it comes. You see it? It's in there in your inbox. It's an invite.
I do not see it. I see you.
Up on the top. Does it have a red circle around it?
Just now. It just showed up.
It takes a minute, yeah. Okay. So you should come in and then we'll mute. There you are. Okay, I just invited you. Do you see it? Tap that and come in. There you are. Now turn on your camera.
Ooh, camera on. Okay, I don't have the background.
You can. But I don't have you on camera on my side.
You don't?
I do not.
Still working on.
It's okay. Keep going. Super fan. Super fan.
There, I've got the screen. All right, so I'm going to save. And I am there with you. It should see me now.
Yep, I can see you.
Can you?
You're there. And I've got your screen. And I've got your backdrop. Look at that.
Looky there. I got my little decoration. I put my makeup on too while we're live. Do my fingernails, put my blush on, I'll be looking pretty.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, Ms. Melanie should be able to see us on her side. And she should be able to come in as well.
You need it open. Is that what you're asking me? Okay. Well, I got crap to see.
I can send her an invite.
Yeah, send her an invite. I know she's looking.
She's actually there. Tell her I sent her an invite.
My hands are full trying to bust this thing open. You know, you need to give me a picture, young lady.
Hi, Miss Sherry. It's good to see you. Here is Miss Sassy Mimi. I just need you to accept that invite, Miss Sassy Mimi. All right, and we're streaming out, guys. We are streaming out. We are out there. Everybody is able to see us. We currently have.
We're in cyberspace. Do I hear music? We get background serenading?
Probably.
Maybe.
Cool. Either way. Well, Michelle.
All right. Well, we're back. We are back. Welcome back, everyone.
Mindful Nuggets.
Welcome back to the Mindful Nuggets podcast. We're back. We're back for our second season here on TikTok. So welcome back, everyone. Please make sure that you're sharing this out to everyone and make sure you're engaging and following your host. Please make sure that you follow Mr. William. You can see him in the upper right-hand side of me anyway. There he is. And make sure you're following Sassy Mimi.
Okay, so I'm knocking the rust off this TikTok thing because I hadn't gone live in a long time. We're getting used to it, you know. Here, and so I was used to it, and then we switched to doing the podcast like a formal podcast, which you can find on YouTube on Mindful Nuggets, by the way. And there's more content coming here shortly. But we wanted to come out live with the audience and just have the experience to share what we're going to be talking about. And I think tonight, Michelle, we're talking about when you look kind of lost out there. You know, we have these dreams when we're like children and they're big and grand and we want to do everything in our life. But as we get older, we get obligations, and then next thing we know, we get buried down. Then we get bills, house, kids, and then what happens?
We lose sight. We lose sight where it was, what we had thought and planned in the very beginning. So we lose the sight. We get disconnected because we're too busy in a programmed world to be.
Yeah, I mean, we're very programmed. We're like a big sponge.
Yeah, absolutely. Miss Sherry, are you wanting to come in tonight and be with us? I've had you pop in several times. If you're wanting to come in, just let us know in the comments.
Okay.
Let us know in the comments that you're wanting to join us. You keep popping in there, so I'm just wanting to make sure. All right, everyone. So welcome back to Mindful Nuggets. It is a new year for us. Resolutions have been made. Goals have been made. Calendars. You're filling.
But where's the dream? Where's the vision?
No, when we stop dreaming, we stop planning. We stop managing.
On vacation, things like that. But what is it that God gave us inside vision boards by any means? But vision boards are like cutting out pictures from somebody else's life and designing it
That's
and
good.
copy it and put it on the board.
Think about that. What's it in front of you? Do you see it?
Okay. Well, all right. Let's just make this very simple. I want to go out and build a piece of furniture or whatever it is. I need a blueprint.
Right.
Right. So if I get a blueprint, then that's somebody else's design probably, and I can go build it from there. But it wasn't my vision to begin with, but I'm building somebody else's blueprint for somebody else. All right,
Hello,
now,
Snoopy. Thanks for being with us this evening.
hey,
Thanks for joining us. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being here. Make sure you're following your host tonight, guys.
Yeah. So, but when today, you consistently go back. It also builds consistency. It builds a habit, and it gets you to the end goal.
Right.
Hey, it's finally done. I feel good. I did something. I completed something, and it's actual. There it is in front of me, and it took a while to do, but it was meaningful.
Motivated to step back into their dreams, step back into their passion, step back into whatever it is that excites them because they've realized now lost and they want it back. So we're saying put it down, write it down, put it in front of you, take the action steps, okay? But what happens when we slow down? What happens when it starts to kind of drift away from us? How do we stay motivated? How do we stay, on that action step?
That ties into your identity and why.
Mm.
Because for one, a lot of times we'll say, because for one, a lot of times we'll say we want things, but we'll start on it and it'll fade out, like you just said, Michelle.
Yeah.
It's because we don't have a big enough. But a lot of growth happened within that dry season.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah.
Because you stayed at it, and then things grow midway or part way, you'll never see the results in back, and that's the imbalance of the whole equation. Is you'll develop a pattern of not completing the things that you're wanting to do in your life. You give up on your dreams.
Right. Well, let's back up. You said, and this is very true. You said we did a lot last year because we did, and we didn't. We should have, with our vision that we laid out, we didn't feel like we accomplished where we wanted to exactly go. But in all essence,
daily basis because you're in front of it every day, and it's just natural. When you step back for a few weeks or a few months and you come back to it, wow, that thing grew.
Yeah.
Right. You don't realize it. This constant little small steps that are occurring daily. It's hard to measure a significant growth that you can really notice in it.
Oh, I'm going to take a step a little further on that one, though. Hold on. What is it? How about it? How about the fact that maybe we are not being grateful, but we didn't take the time to be grateful for that one little step that we did take.
Well, on the side, we actually were very grateful.
We were. I'm not saying. I'm just saying for our listeners tonight.
Okay.
That
I'm gonna
reflection is so important.
be frustrated about it. Then the attitude of the way you look at this is, I am grateful just to even be alive. Because I can tell you, any growth, any change, any transformation in your life, you're going to have to be around people that is
Right.
going to support you during this quest. It's not going to judge you with in order for it to grow. Environment is just about 50% as it is for the self-awareness that you choose to become self-aware and grow yourself. If you
Right.
don't
Right.
plant yourself in the environment, you don't put around the people, it becomes increasingly difficult to accomplish what you're after. And then you get into the friction, drift, and things like that. Why isn't it working? You add two drops, blah, blah, blah. So it was very important that you get in the right. What do you want out of this life? And what do you want out of this year? And what have you planned out of that vision to accomplish those goals? Because we can have goals. Goals are fine.
Okay. All right. So, when was the last time in your dream that you wanted to make happen?
Here's a good one that we were talking with Ace. When I met Ace a while back, and we were talking about it, and her legs were hanging over the cliff, looking down in the ravine, just there bouncing her feet. And that's kind of like me. It's like, that's cool. Have them go fly through it. And I, Melanie, and several others in this want to form a holistic healing experience for people. How do we do that? Well, let's go to Sedona. It has natural energy vortexes. We can have facilitators. Next thing we know, we've got a full-blown business that's ready to go for people to join us to Sedona. That's coming from a vision, and that's coming from a place and heart that's aligned with what we spent. We're about 7-8 months now.
We're about 8 months. Yeah. I mean, we're going to be, this retreat occurs in April. So, we're there. We've only got 3 months left, and this retreat actually takes. If you have one, yeah. So most of us want, new results, right? We want new circumstances. We want new opportunities, and without addressing that, the person we are being. We've talked about this before. The being. You want to elaborate on the being, William, just a little bit here? I don't know why they're doing this to me. They keep popping in. What's the being? We have being and doing. So, want to elaborate?
Jesus spent a lot of time with God praying. You get in divine direction and divine power behind you. You are just behind it. You're not creating.
Right.
You're doing
Who are
somebody else's.
you?
You're just burning yourself up, hoping to get something out of it. It'll never manifest into what you wanted anyway, because it left the left side of the equation completely out. And that's the creative part. That's the being part.
And we get into this program doing every day.
Oh, I remember now. We were going to talk about this one. Okay.
Oh, we are. We have to say. We had a whole conversation about this last night about how we were going to talk about it today.
Yeah. Okay. So, across pretty much all of USA, we get, blistered with snow, ice.
Oh, yeah.
Everything.
I've got 8 inches over here of snow. Somebody can come and take it for me.
Huh?
Somebody can come and get this 8 inches of snow I've got in my front yard.
You can keep it. It's all yours. You earned it. But the thing is, okay, can you imagine the kids, okay? We go back to when we were a kid. All right, we're in school. We get all the snow. The first thing that are in our minds is like, oh man, are we gonna get out of school?
Right?
All right, now we get out of school and we get excited and we start doing all sorts of crazy things, creative, and then we get into food, chips, everything, snacks, because it's almost like a holiday.
Right. Exactly. Dig into everything. I can have whatever I want today.
Popcorn, chips, whatever, snacks, ready to catch.
Sodas, cookies, cakes, candies, all the above.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I mean, everything that's just terribly bad for you. But I'm not making money.
Right.
But we want the holiday, and we eat bad, and we kind of like chill out, we take advantage of it, but we still got this stress. Well, I need to go work and earn money. On for the most part, over 73.4% of people can't stand what they're doing, but we
Very
still
true.
know we have to because we have to earn the money in order to pay the bills. Well, that's exactly what we've been taught when we were kids. You got to go to school. You get out when they say you can get out, and if you miss too much, you get in trouble. In our case, if we miss too much, you get fired. It's the same system. We get old, but the system hadn't changed.
Right. Right.
It's kind of scary because that's conditioning from what are we creating that's going to break us free from that? So our bodies are no longer having to do the work, but the dollars are
Exactly.
a
Exactly.
meaningful way to assign work to a dollar. Where's this dollar go? Think about this, kind of like a work site. The boss comes in, tells everybody what to do, and they go do it. The boss walks away and doesn't come back. Next thing he comes back, and the work's not getting done. They're just kind of lazy getting around. Okay, that's called diligence. And so if you want the dollars to work for you, you got to come back and check on it daily. So, are you doing your job? What's the result?
Right. Right.
I know this is a little bit of shift out here, but this is very similar. We're told to go get a job, go earn money, pay our bills, pay our taxes, rinse and repeat.
Well, that's the programming that we've had since day one. Go to school, get a job,
And
go to college, get a better job, and take care of your family and do the daily.
So again, let's go back to the beginning. We've had our snow day, right? We're full of junk, lethargic, and we need to eat some good stuff now and get fueled properly, exercise. But where is it along the path are we being creative? Can we separate that? Can you actually sit down and write down 100 things on a list, what I want out of my life and what do I see, what I would like to see to happen?
Sometimes there's a lot of pain associated with that, though. Let's talk about that. There's a lot of pain associated with stepping outside the box for many people. For many people, right? We sit down and we think about where we're at, what we're doing, and how we got here. How did we get here? So many times, how is it that I got here? I know how I got here because I didn't follow. I wasn't in alignment with God the entire time. He was trying to tell me, you're out of alignment. Here's your consequence.
You can definitely hit the wall so many times before your face breaks.
Right, right.
And you realize that you don't want to do that anymore. But
comes from pain. Right. Pain that finally outweighs the comfort. Pain, that exposes, misalignment. Pain that interrupts what's familiar, That's where we get that movement.
Right. So the flesh wants comfort is the most destructive thing that you can ever occur in your life.
Comfort is safe.
All right, you may take a breather or breath, and that's fine.
Life are teaching you.
Sometimes they leave scars, but scar reminds you not to do that again, or it reminds you of what you did, what you went through, and how you can help somebody else going through that pain that you're observing now that you've gone through it.
Right.
So there's a lot of good value from pain. Pruning stinks, it really does, but it's useful. Because if you're going to go past where you are now, you're going to have to be pruned. You don't have to face some storms. You don't have to live life. You don't have to live through those experiences. And you're going to have to be grateful for.
All right. Well, let's ask our question to our viewers tonight. From our second segment, what feels harder right now, staying the same or changing?
Ooh,
What feels harder?
I'm sorry, Michelle, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
She puts in there, many make a temporary solution a permanent solution.
Ooh. Because why? We don't know how to step out.
Don't want to go through it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Don't want to go through the pain, don't want to go through the actual storm. Instead, we back away and say, oh, that lightning's over there. You think I'll stay over here. Maybe it won't, strike me. And that's what we do.
I think for most people, that may be helpful, actionable steps. And, for me, it was like the question I asked when I was laying dead or dying on the bed. What was
Hey,
this
Chuck, it's good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. So, eventually you get so much pain, you change. This is what we just discussed about.
Right.
It's bear, and you want something more in your life. Not a choice, a decision. And this is where we're going. We're moving on. And you don't turn back.
Right.
Back door shut. You're done. You're moving forward. But when you come to a point, like I said, you've lived in misery for so long, yeah, you get numb to it. But what happens to your life? You lose your dream. You don't think you'll ever see it again. You don't think you're worth it. Your identity is no longer aligned. You're out of alignment.
Right. That's true. That is true.
You come to a point where you say, what's this life for? Why am I here? And why does this keep happening? This is the point where we get to make that decision and say enough's enough.
No, let's talk about alignment over performance. Okay, so let's talk about that. I mean, we're moving into an alignment process, right? This is the
performance equals action under your own power to get a result. The world.
That isn't the real goal. That's a lot of people's goal. They want it right here, right now, instant gratification, make it happen.
Record, your subconscious is playing like a record.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Sometimes you get scratched.
Right.
And when that happens, okay, I mean, seriously, take the analogy. You're playing the record over and over again. Your life is getting the same results over and over again, the same record.
And isn't that the definition of insanity as well? Same thing over and over.
If you're trying to change and do the same thing over and over, get a different result, yeah, that is insanity. But the fact is that it's playing the tune, okay? It's recorded everything to make that record play. So you're going through life, you're getting what people tell you, you're carrying baggage of some habits that aren't supporting you. But that's not coming from that record. Eventually, that record needs to get scratched. What happens? It starts playing, thunk, and then that gets irritating. And it gets irritating enough, you're looking at it. So what's going on right here? And then we can start seeing where it got scratched. If we can do something. I'm not in a good spot. Why am I not in this good spot? What's creating this spot? Start asking yourself questions.
Hey, Chuck, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. We appreciate you for being here.
Yeah.
You're right. You're absolutely right. So let's
open what you're getting and start. This is a process. This isn't overnight. You're not going to change and just completely be transformed. That doesn't happen. It just does not happen. There's a lot of things that you have to become aware of that are going on in your life. What's causing what? Who told me this, and why do I believe this? Have I gone back and checked? In our case, we go back to God's word, and I go back to the Greek and Hebrew. I go back to the root, because Satan wants to play with just 1% off true north on it, and then that true north by 1% off going across the continent can put you in a different continent than your destination on it. And it can put you into some bad spots, but you believe it because you accept it either in childhood as the truth, as your parents told you, or somebody that you respected told you, or you accepted that belief as you went on in life. That somebody else told you, or that's a commonplace around your associations around people, because that's the way they believe. All right. So if you want to start changing your life, you don't like the outcome, and you're frustrated, and you're tired, and all these different things that are going on, that does not bring then it's time to stop. It's time to evaluate a lot of things. And this is what we get to talk about. well-being. Well, we had everybody come in, they would speak to a particular topic, and we still offer that. But it's a
Right.
great place to get into.
I'm gonna read Sassy Mimi's her post here. We often don't realize we have Verde off of the we have Beard off of the path to our goals. That's
That's awesome.
exactly right. It's exactly right. We don't realize it because, again, we have been so programmed heading into the direction of what we believe, what we've been told. Reality, which is, I really did have a vision at one point. I did have a place I wanted in with ourselves. Ooh, amen to that. Our priorities. Are we
Yeah,
living like those? Our priority. Amen.
keep going back to the daily, mundane, boring checkoff list that keeps
Right.
you on track. The
And we do
daily
do that.
consistency, yeah, the daily consistency of reviewing what it is that you want in your life. Am I on track today? What am I going to do to move the needle today? What
Me every day. So if I don't do that one thing that scares me every day, then I didn't take action towards something to get out of my comfort zone.
just eventually, in that time you do it 30, 40, 50 times, you're like, yeah, no big deal.
Exactly. Well, before we move into our last segment, let's ask our viewers, really believe? Do your current words truly align with what you truly believe? That's a
Ooh,
great question. So, are
I
you
like it.
using those words in alignment with what you really believe? So, in other words, are you stepping out in how you're actually being? Who are you being? And are you using the words in the correct fashion? Yes or no? I mean, we catch ourselves all the time. Well, if, no, it's not if, because it's already happened. It already happened. So you got to speak as in it already happened.
It's already done.
Exactly. What? Go
Podcast
ahead.
is to 1 million people. We're just waiting for it to catch up. But it's already done because he already spoke it. And we use the authority of his words that he's given to us in that to speak it. Jesus spoke and as his daughter's done. Every time he said it was done.
Yeah.
We need them all at it. We're made in his image. We get the same authority. So why are we letting all that drift and think we don't? Here's a good one. How about responsible?
Mm.
Responsibility more so because that's a scary word to a lot of people. You in trouble?
Mm-hmm. That's what a lot of people think when they hear that word.
Mm-hmm.
But
But
let's
that's not
let's
what it
break it
is.
down. Where does responsibility come from? Go ahead.
No, reverse the words ability to respond to a situation and say react. So
Right.
responsibility, you're responsible for everything in your life that occurs. Well, yeah, you are because you have a choice. You have a choice to respond or you can react. And you create from your reaction or you create from your response.
All right. So
When
Sassy Mimi says, then I have to be leaving. Ooh, that's a great question.
you
Where
need to
is
be
that
careful.
relationship?
Yeah. Because if you're reacting or you say something you don't trust it, then you don't trust God to fulfill it for you. So that in itself is disobedience too.
Right. Right. Oh wow.
It's a hard. It's easy
Wow.
to say, but it's difficult because we're trained not to trust. We've been bitten so bad we don't want to trust. We've been hurt so deeply inside we don't want to trust. But we can't live in that fear. We can't hold that. That's negative energy that will pollute your body, pollute your soul. When you
Mm-hmm.
go, I mean, Jesus was beat to death, and then he was nailed to a cross, but he still loved, or will come back for us. But he loved us enough to die. Where people get beat so badly, they wouldn't show back up in the square again. They'd just be hunkered down and not want to show back up in public. A lot of people are like that because they've been hurt so badly. But you can't
Yeah.
live like that. That's not living.
All right. Well, let's move on to our next segment. Here's what most people miss. Consistency doesn't feel powerful in the moment. Wow. It feels small. It feels slow. It feels unnoticed. Let's talk about consistency. Let's talk about the relationship of you I don't know why I'll tell you what, TikTok needs to quit. Anyway, let's talk about being consistent, because when we get into the drift and we are not speaking in the positive we want our life to actually be, okay, which is what we're speaking upon, is you're not utilizing the words in order to speak life. Where does that consistent behavior come in? Where's the support for me to know that I'm not being who I should be being?
You're being consistent.
Well, you're
By the way,
consistent. You're being consistent if you're heading in one direction, right? But we have to look at all the aspects. Let's look at all the aspects here.
you get comfortable, you don't want to change, and you're consistent in all your habits.
But that's why we created Mindful Nuggets, so people had a place to land, to be seen, and to be heard.
Well, okay, so instead of going down the stream over the bluff, we're kind of going downstream. But the way I think about it, I'm stepping out of the stream, so I don't get caught in that current, that drift, and to get consistent what I want to create in my life. And what does that require? Constant growth, positive input every day.
Small aligned decisions, yeah. Small aligned decisions. And repeating those small aligned decisions every day. Yeah.
It's a choice. So, okay, so declaration every day, gratitude every day. Read something that you don't know about every day. Learn a new skill.
Learn something new every day. Go out of your way. What's something that you want to know towards that vision that you don't know?
Exactly. Just write down something that you want. Visualize what you want. Because if you don't visualize what you want, you're not visualizing anything. Well, that's what you're going to get. Nothing.
Very true. Hi, Kat. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here with us here at Mindful Nuggets. Thanks for being back.
So we are creatures of it, so we're consistent. Well, so compound to grow, compound.
Okay.
It's not a linear equation either. Compounding doesn't mean just straight line. It usually means exponential over time.
Okay.
Think about this one. Okay. Think about it. The simple question is: do you want $1 million or do you want a penny that compounds daily?
Great question, everyone. Which one do you want? The $1 million or the penny that compounds each day? I want to hear that one in the comments. Which one do you want? The $1 million or the penny that compounds?
Well, I know
I'll take the penny that compounds. I want the penny that compounds.
That's the right answer.
But not everybody sees that.
Right. Well, the thing is, the $1 million is not compounding. It's stagnant. It eventually goes away. It depreciates. It gets used. It's not replenished. Compounding a penny every day is continuously growing, and it's growing in magnitudes at some point beyond your wildest imagination. What a kind of impact. Just think about that compounding if you invested in yourself, because here's the real equation. You take 30% out of everything in your life. You've invested 10% in for you, 10% into growth, your investments, your growth in God, all the three of those. You're putting all those things. Why? Because if you don't do those things, one, you're not in gratitude. You're not in a giving mindset. You're
not in a giving game either.
You're
in a taking game.
You're holding on. So you're blocking blessings. You're blocking flow.
Right.
If you don't invest in your mind, it's going to shrink. Einstein's brain, for example, was extremely heavy. Why? Because he thought a lot. And when you work that muscle, well, guess what? It's going to grow. So when you feed yourself and you're growing, well, that's going to accumulate. Eventually, some point, it's going to make, that's the transformation. At some point, the world's can't stop but noticing that you dramatically changed. And if you really invest in it, transformed that greatly over a period of time. That didn't happen overnight either. That's usually years. But it's worth the trek. It's worth the journey. Because I tell you what, if you don't have peace and joy in your life, you're on the wrong track. That's the other side of the compounding that you don't want to have happen to you.
Right.
No matter what this world's doing. I know what God's doing. He already told me.
So we need alignment over performance.
That's power over performance.
Mm.
Because now you have supernatural power in alignment, that his power, not your own steam. Because all you can do individually is perform, and eventually your battery will run out, you have steam, you're burnt out. And guess what? Next.
Right. Wow. So tonight, we're asking everyone to sit down and be in your dreams. Where is it that you're looking for? Or maybe you were had at one point, and now all of a sudden it's just been lost due to the programming that has been had over the years. You've kind of lost your way, and you'd really like to get that to make that happen. What is that? Let us know in the comments. What is that vision that you have? And reach out to us on YouTube as well. Follow us on our YouTube channel at Mindful Nuggets. Hello, Roberta. Thanks for joining us and being with us tonight here at Mindful Nuggets. Make sure you're following your host and engaging while you're here. But you can go back onto YouTube at Mindful Nuggets and catch last year's.
Say you had all the fixing.
Done. You need to believe in yourself enough to know.
A lot of wisdom, and she's giving a lot out there that can change your life. Because if you want to change and grow and be what you want to be, you better take care of that temple of yours. Because you don't need it.
That is true. We talk about that on the Daily Bite, how your body's a temple and how you need to nourish it and take care of it. Guys, I want to make sure that tonight you are following your two individuals here, William and Sassy Mimi. Again, they are here with us on Mindful Nuggets every single Monday night, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. Always be in our stories, be here on our page in case there's any changes that would come about, but be a part of our super fan page. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight, giving everyone some great education and hopefully moving into their next chapter.
On the right track.